good to be in my hometown. How are we going? How has today been? Amazing. The first Australian Lifewave event. Do we know how to throw an event, Aussies? I believe there'll be some people with a bit of FOMO when they see what's going on here today. I have learnt over the last few months in preparation today that Lifewave is getting results for people as young as 19 and 20, all the way up to 80 and 90 years of age, which I think is incredible. So I would love to find out who's in the room, what era you are from. So do we have any teens and early 20s in here? Yes, amazing. Let's go. Yeah, stand up, Emma. Yeah, let's put your hands together for Emma and the girls up here. Amazing. What about the other end of the spectrum? 80s, 90s? Yes! Oh my God, amazing. That's incredible. What about 60s and 70s? Oh, and 90 up there, amazing. Oh, there's so many of you. Yeah, stand up. Come on, you've got legs at work, stand up. You're patching, your legs work. Amazing. And what about our 40s and 50s? Yes, millennials, Gen Y. Oh, look how many there are, I love it. Did I miss anyone? Oh, 30s, I missed the 30s. Yeah, oh, there's one. Yeah, amazing. Incredible, that's so good. So I would love, you're lying. You're not 30. You're not 30. Give the patches a bit longer to work in, and then you can stand up with that. So I would love to take you back now to a time, to an era where hypercolour t-shirts were a thing. Who remembers that? Yeah. The coolest place to go on a Friday night was all you can eat Sizzler. And do you remember that? How good was all you can eat Sizzler? The cheese bread? The cheese bread! I know, everyone's got great memories. Christian, it's this thing, we'll tell you all about it later. And the closest thing that we had to artificial intelligence was this. Do you remember? And then it was like, Nicole, I need to make a phone call. Get off. Oh, memories. The year I'm talking about is, of course, 1994. So this is me and Mum on the evening of my primary school graduation. And I was facing the prospect of going to high school with absolutely zero of my friends. Every single one of them were going to the local Catholic schools and private schools. And I was going to the local state school. And in my mind, I thought my friends were going here, where nothing bad happens. And this is a good one for the millennials too, was going to the real life set of Dangerous Minds. That's where I thought I was going. And it didn't matter what Mum tried to say. I could not get on board with going to Wavell State High School. The opportunities, the new friends, blah, 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 blah. I didn't want to hear a bar of it until we had a visit from my family friends. Don't mind the knife there, he was just cutting a cake. So this is Neva and Jerry. Mum travelled the world with Neva before she got married. And to my 12-year-old self, they were the epitome of cool. They were Dutch. They had an accent. Oh yeah, we've got some Dutchies in the house. They had tattoos. They didn't have kids, so they travelled all the time, and they had so many stories. And on this particular day, he came over and he said, "What's up, Nicole?" I'm not even going to try to do a Dutch accent. I can't do that. And I said, "Oh, I've got to go to Wavell High. None of my friends are there. Mum is so mean. She hates me." And he said, "You know, I went to a local state school when all of my friends went to the other private schools." And I thought, okay, you got my attention. Carry on. And he started to tell me and sell to me the benefits of a co-educational school. I'll let you think about why that's great. And he told me so many stories about how many new people he met if it wasn't, that he wouldn't have otherwise met if he stuck with his same crew. The school offered different interests that he'd had up until that time, so we got to try new things. Bottom line is, after speaking with Jerry, after hearing his story, my outlet and my outlook completely changed. So I walked into grade 8, day 1, with a pep in my step because of Jerry's story. And here's the thing that I want you to hear. Mum and Jerry had the same message. They were both telling me the same thing. Suck it up, you're going to Wavell High, put your big girl pants on. But I didn't hear it until I heard Jerry's story. I didn't hear it until it came out of his mouth. And that is what I mean when I say, your story is your superpower. And when you learn to tell it in the way that only you can, your voice has the power to move mountains. Literally change the trajectory of somebody else's life. Now, I can guarantee you there are people out there waiting to hear about Lifewave, waiting to hear about the patches from you. And they will not hear it until the story comes out of your mouth. Mary might be peddling the patches at the markets, Joe might be talking about it on TikTok, but until it comes out of your mouth, that will fall on deaf ears. And we are in an era now where we need human stories and human connection more than anything. Whether we like it or not, we are in an AI era. That's not me. That's a line of code. ChatGPT, Claude, it doesn't matter what AI model you use, it writes emails, it can do reports, it can generate shopping lists, it can tell you what to buy hubby for an anniversary. But you know what AI will never be able to do? Never stand on a stage. And your stage might not look like my stage. Your stage might be across a coffee table or at the markets or on your social media channels. It will never be on a stage and connect to the humans in front of it. That is exclusively for us. I want this to sink in. When you're putting yourself out there, when you are telling your story, when you're sharing your life, your business, it's not showing off. It's showing up. There's a big difference. Visibility isn't vanity, it's responsibility. Put your hand in the air if you join this business to impact your own life or somebody else's, or as many people as you can. Like everybody in the room. You can't do that if nobody knows who you are. You can't do that if nobody knows your name. And for those of it that like to stay in the background, fly under the radar, behind the scenes, and call it humility, I'm going to call you out on that. You're not being humble, you're hiding. And you can't help anyone when you're hiding. So for the next 50 minutes or so, I'm going to teach you a strategic way to be visible. But before I do, I want to let you know that not everyone is going to like you. And there is a rule of thirds that I want to share with you. So it goes a little like this. A third of the people out there are going to look at you like you are their favourite chocolate bar. They're going to see you coming, they're going to light up, and they might even salivate a little bit. Creepy, but they like you, so that's okay. A third of the people out there will look at you like you're vanilla ice cream. You're a bit meh. You're dependable, you're versatile, but no one's fighting over you. And a third of the people out there, they're going to look at you like you are a black jelly bean. They will actively avoid you and question your very existence. Does anyone actually like black jelly beans? You guys are different, aren't you? Yeah. However, that was less than half. Point of the story is black jelly bean, vanilla ice cream, favourite chocolate. Your job is not to convince people of what you are. It's not to convince people to like you. It's to connect with the people that already do. Put your hands in the air if you think you have a personal brand. If your hand is not up, well done for those of you that put your hand up. If your hand is not up, sorry, don't shoot the messenger, but your lack of a personal brand becomes your personal brand. If you are not strategic and intentional about the way you show up in the world, other people will control the narrative. Other people will do the talking. So don't you think it's time that you take control of that? Now, a personal brand doesn't necessarily mean the colours you wear, although it's clear what mine is, and it doesn't mean the logos and the fonts. It's all of this. It is your beliefs. It is the belief systems that guide you on a day-to-day basis. It's your why. It's why you're in this room in the first place. It's what you say yes to. It's what you say no to. It's what you react or respond to, where you choose to place your energy, and how you dress. Whether you like it or not, people make snap judgments within milliseconds. And I heard a beautiful quote by my makeup artist actually this morning, and she said, people care about people that care about themselves. Now that doesn't mean we all have to dress the same and we all have to wear a full face of makeup and get a blow dry, although that's my jam. We don't have to do that, but we need to be intentional about how we show up in the world, and that includes how we dress, the language that we use, as well as our presence and that energy. This is really important because sometimes I can feel people are going, oh God, Nicole's up there in a red sparkly suit, she's going to make me dress up, wear heels, do all the things. No, I'm not. This is not about becoming someone you're not. This is not about becoming someone that you're not. It is about claiming the version of you that already exists. It's fully stepping into that without worrying about what people will think. Because at the end of the day, Carolyn Mace made this comment, quote, years and years ago. At the end of the day, whatever your belief system is, when you're at the pearly white gates, when it's all said and done, you are not getting a gold star for listening to the people that stood in your way. They're going to be too busy facing their own crap. So the only person you have to face is yourself. And will you be okay with that? That's not a question I can answer for you, but I know I wouldn't be. When we think about judgment, we think about the people that stand in our way now. They are not going to be there at the end, as blunt as that may sound. So let's have a look at my VIP framework. So this is a framework that will help you to build a personal brand that is impossible to ignore. And there's a lot. I teach all of this within She Speaks Academy. I've only got, how many more minutes have I got left? 45 minutes left. I'm going to go through what I can today. So voice, that is obviously how you use your voice and the mechanics and your language, which we won't be going into today. But the pillar, within this pillar, today we're going to deep on our story. We're going to go deep on our story. I is for identity. Your beliefs influence your behaviours, which influence the signal that you broadcast to the world. If you want to change the way you show up in the world, you change the way you show up for yourself. And then we've got positioning. Put your hands in the air if selling makes you feel a little bit icky. Yeah, it's like I'll talk about patches all day long, but when it comes to asking for money, whoop, nope. So I'm going to help you today to make that switch from selling to serving. Really subtle shift, but really powerful. So let's get right into storytelling. So stories are not only great to listen to, and I've already told you a couple today, but they are very engaging and they sync the listener's brain with the speaker's brain. And when you hear information delivered through narrative, the meaning-making centres in your brain activate and you remember whatever is being told. So stories make things more memorable. Aristotle identified this. This is not me. This is not Nicole Joy work. I can't put a copyright on this. Aristotle discovered the three elements of persuasive speech: ethos, logos, and pathos. So in ethos, that is all about your credibility. That's your job title. That's the letters after your name, where you went to university, all of those things. Your logos is logic and reasoning. So this is when we use data, statistics, research to back up what we are talking about. And then pathos is all about using stories to make the human beings in front of you feel something. In his book, great book, called Talk Like Ted by Carmine Gallo, he broke down one of Ted's most popular talks by Brian Stevenson in 2012 about injustice. He was a civil rights lawyer, human rights lawyer, my mistake. And he delivered a 23-minute speech. Carmine broke down every single word in that speech, and he found that only 10% of it had anything to do with his experience and his qualification. Only 10%. 25%, so about a quarter, was the use of logic and data and statistics to back up what he was saying. And as you can see there, 65%, over 65%, he used with storytelling. Stories are so, so powerful. And if you're thinking, I don't really have a story, I don't really have a big story, you will by the end of today. Now, this is what happens when we tell a story. People lean in, tell me more. If you say, I've got a story to tell you, or you just, even better, you just start telling the story, people will automatically lean in. If you start trying to sell them something, nope, backpedaling. I don't want to buy it. That old marketing saying, people always want to buy, but they don't want to be sold to. And this is the difference between story-based selling and product-based selling. So I've got two examples that I want to share with you, and you let me know which one you want to hear more about. So mum's gone from sleeping until 9 a.m. every morning to waking up at 6, rain, hail or shine, to go to the gym, to go for a walk. I can barely keep up with the energy this woman has. Or the X39 patches boost your body's innate powers and cost $149.95. Which one do you want to hear more about? I want to hear about mum. What's mum doing? I want to hear more about that. Yes, they cost $149 and they may boost your body's innate healing abilities, but that's not what's going to get your customer over the line. You need to speak the language that your customer speaks. You need to reflect back to them struggles that they understand, not industry jargon. Websites are great to point people to if they want to do more research, but what is going to hook them is your ability to understand where they are and speak in a language that they use. Now, I said before, there might be some of you like, I don't have a big story. You don't need a big story. You don't need to have gone through a huge, big transformation to make an impact in someone's life. If you do have one, awesome, own it, but it's not necessary. When we always focus on having to have a big, huge transformational story, we stop thinking about the power in everyday action. We stop thinking about the power of 1% better every day. We stop thinking about doing the ordinary things over and over again until they become extraordinary. Now, about 10 years ago, I was in a network marketing company, doTERRA, and I would always say to my upline, oh, Jodie, I don't have a big story. I love the oils, I use the oils, but no one's buying nice smelling oils. I don't have a big story. And I had what I like to call, and some of you might have it here, story envy. Now, the jealous feeling one experiences when they think their story isn't enough. Who has a bit of story envy? Anyone have some? You think you need a big story to make big impact, but you don't. Because ordinary connects. Ordinary says, hey, I'm just like you.
Yep, love that.
Ordinary says, if I can do it, so can you. So don't negate the power of those small, everyday stories. Like mum, who's jumping out of bed, going to the gym at 6 a.m. every morning. That wasn't a huge, big, tragic story, but look how powerful that is. So this lady here, Mel Robbins, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 theory. She's got the let them theory. She became where she is now because of something, an everyday struggle that we could all relate to. She lost her job, so she was faced with financial insecurity. She was really anxious, and she openly talked about how she couldn't get out of bed, the pressure of the bills, the pressure that it put on her marriage, and she could not get out of bed. So one morning, she watched a rocket launch, live streamed on TV. And she watched it go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she thought to herself, well, if a rocket can launch itself after 5 seconds, I can do that out of bed every morning. And that's what she did. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 herself out of bed every morning. Is that a big tragic story? No. Simple, relatable, and she repeated that message and still repeats that message over and over and over again. Yeah, it's her story. Because marketing, this is what people get wrong about marketing. That you have to come up with something new and you have to reinvent the wheel every single time that you speak. But marketing is about using the same core truth, just delivered in different ways. Different stories, different people. You might be thinking to yourself, I have said this 100 times. People in front of you are going, now I get it. And if you don't feel like you're repeating yourself, you're probably not saying it enough. Now, something about your stories that I really want you to hear here. They might be about you, but they need to be for your audience. Now, I had the pleasure of working with Sally Pearson, Olympic athlete, gold medalist, and we were rewriting her keynote. And there aren't a lot of people that can relate to winning gold at an Olympic level. So what we had to do for her, and we were talking all about the transition from having big achievements and living a big life in one arena and then moving to another, and the difficulties and challenges that come along with that. But if she would have just got up there and talked about how hard it was for her to transition into normal life after being an Olympic athlete, 99.999% of the population would be like, poor you. So we had to create and reflect back to the audience similar situations that they might be in. So maybe you're rebuilding, and this is the words that she would use in her talk, maybe you're rebuilding after a divorce. Maybe you've lost everything and you're starting again. Maybe everyone has turned their back on you and you are finally believing in your own power. So we take the everyday struggle that she was feeling, even though it wasn't on a level that most people can understand, and then we reflect back to the audience something that they can relate to. Super important, about you, but for your audience. Because vulnerability without insight, that's just attention seeking. You need to share the story that then has a lesson for the people in front of you. What can they take away from that conversation with you or the social media post? And the great thing about stories, you don't always have to use your own. We've got personal stories, borrowed stories, and well-known case studies. So personal stories are, it happened to me. Borrowed, just like the one that I talked about with Sally there. It wasn't my story, but I borrowed it from Sally. And well-known case studies, the example that I used there before, with a name that most people would know, Mel Robbins. So you might have stories, you might not have the big transformation yourself, but someone close to you might. You might not have the great big client testimonial, but maybe there's one within your team that you can lean on, compliantly, of course, because that's very, very important. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to do our first activity. So with your pieces of paper, I'd like, if you don't have a piece of paper, please open up a book or get on your note section on your phone. It's called story mining. And I highly recommend, particularly for those of you that do speaking and you'll be speaking up here more often, have a little book or a note section in your phone where you've got different stories that illustrate different points that you can call on. Like, I'm a speaker. I say my personal stories a lot of the time, but I've got a book of stories that I can always pull from. So I want you to just split your page in two. Basically, one column is what happened and the other column is what's the insight? What's the lesson? What can the people in front of you learn from? And while you're writing that up, I will let you know here, now some of you might have already gone straight away, I've got a story, we're good. Some of you might be going, I don't know what to write, Nicole. So I want you to use this mime prompts. So are there milestones that you can call on? Are there milestones, big things that have happened in your life, whether it be having a baby, a wedding, a 40th, a 50th, a 60th, a 70th, an 80th, something that has happened that can jog a memory for you. Then you've got your I, which is your interactions. If you've got young kids, holy moly, the conversations we have with our children. I have a bank of stories just from my 6-year-old daughter, Lucia. Interaction, it could be something, it could be a conversation you had with a guy who made your coffee. It doesn't have to be big. And then we've got our favourite memories, perhaps childhood memories. And then we've got our everyday. Maybe you were sitting enjoying a coffee and instead of scrolling on your phone or messaging someone or calling someone, you look down and notice the intricate detailing of a leaf. And you can talk about taking time, looking up. How many times have you been ready to cross a road and instead of doing this, you just look up and you go, whoa, there's so much out there. So something, I'm going to give you maybe a minute or so now. I want you to use these prompts. And if you've got questions, I'll come down on the floor and walk amongst you. I really want you to, you've got to have at least one story. Because maybe not at the end, maybe I haven't figured out when I'm going to do it. I'm actually going to call on some brave volunteers to get up here and share their story. So you've got to have one story. So do we have thinking music, Mr. Tech Team? Like just, yeah, can we just put some thinking music on? I don't know exactly what thinking music is, but I think it would be better than silence.
I'm just making sure that this hasn't timed out.
Oh, okay.
That's your timer.
Okay, beautiful. Oh, Tina Turner, that'll make us think. So has everybody got at least one story? There's something that if I was to pull you out of the crowd, which is everyone's going, do not choose me, Nicole. If I was to choose you, I'm not going to choose you yet, but you're ready to choose, or you got a question? Okay.
Can I clarify?
Oh, yes.
If it's on the patches or just a story in general?
So, really good question. For the purpose of today and why you're here, working on a story that you can use in your Lifewave business, I think would be a really good idea. Because, and that's such a good question too, because to be successful in any business, we have to go all in, and it has to be the majority of our identity. So if you're talking about random stories on, let's say, social media or your email marketing, and then sometimes you use some Lifewave stories in person, there's a little bit of a mismatch. People will think, well, are you the patches girl? Are you doing that, or are you only sometimes doing it? So I would be, if I was sitting in your position, I would be getting as many, obviously the personal stories are great, but talk to the people around you, talk to your team. What stories do you have? So that the next time you're in front of a potential customer. So Mary and my team, she actually had this experience with someone. And so share those borrowed stories. So really good question. For the purpose of today, I think it would be a really good idea that it's a Lifewave focused story. Great question. Has everyone got at least one? Yeah, okay, amazing. Oh, who am I going to choose? Not yet, I'm going to show you how to do that. Because I'm sure we've got some wafflers in the room that I'll give the microphone to, and 5 minutes later, I'll be going, hey, I need that back. Not that there's anything wrong with waffling. But if you can tell your story succinctly and get it across in the quickest way possible, in the most powerful and effective way possible, it's going to be better for you. So this is a little structure that I want you to remember, and definitely screenshot this. So 3 parts to telling a story. There's your prequel, so this is where it all began, your plot twist, the moment everything changed, and the payoff, what life is like now. So let's break that down. Actually, we'll use the mum who suddenly got out of bed at 6 a.m. Let's break that down into this structure so you can see how it would work. So the first part, the prequel, is the relatable struggle. And again, we're going to use Lifewave. So this is basically before Lifewave. So before Lifewave come along, what was going on? It is, used to sleep until 9 a.m. every morning, feeling tired, doesn't matter how many coffees I have, I just don't have any energy. And as specific as you can get with that language, the better. Plot twist. So this is normally when something forced you to make a change. It could be heartbreak, loss, a diagnosis, a breakdown. It could be you just are sick of it and you're making the decision. So maybe mum snoozed on an important meeting, got in a lot of trouble at work, and she thought finally to herself, I need to make a change. And then the payoff, now she's up, oops, hang on, let me go back. Now she's up at 6 a.m. every day, she's joined the gym, she's got new friends, she's got so much energy, her life has completely changed. But we need to be really specific, because to say, my life's completely changed with no details, that goes over someone's head. So when we're relaying the struggle to them, we need to be specific in our messaging, and even in the payoff as well, just so they can go, oh, imagine being able to have the confidence to go to the gym and meet new friends and have all that energy and not need 5 espressos every morning. As specific as you can. So is there somebody that would like to, have you got a question, or are you volunteering? Or are you Yeah. Yes, good. Do we have a volunteer though that would like to stand up here? Here's the caveat. You need to do it in 60 seconds or less. Okay, we were waving our, yes. And you've got red glasses on by the looks on, so you match this, so you can absolutely come up. What's your name? Josephine. Make some noise for Josephine, everyone. Just come up this stairs. Please don't trip.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. So what you're going to do,
Okay.
roughly 20 seconds each,
Cool.
60 seconds in total, you're going to say, before Lifewave, this is how you'll start. Before Lifewave, blah, 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 whatever it is, the relatable struggle everyone can relate to.
Oh.
Then you're going to say, then something happened.
Oh, that sort of a story in that context.
Yes. Are you retracting your volunteering?
Well, it involves Lifewave.
Let's give it a go. You're up here, Josephine. I'm not going to kick you off the stage. So it's basically before Lifewave. Then what happened?
Well, it's while Lifewave, while in Lifewave.
Okay, that'll do.
Yeah, I think it's still relaxed.
And then your new normal. You're going to
risk
risk it. Love it.
So where
hold it right on
it
your
all
chin,
began,
otherwise we
it began here at lunchtime actually, and
Hold it a bit closer. Right there. Right there.
okay.
There we go.
So it began at lunchtime, and the question of, oh my God, what are you going to eat, right? And then talking about trust and following your intuition and believing in something. So there were 4 of us. We went with Nikita because she said, I'm going here. I've got the cup. Okay. She was leading us, right? So we got in the car, we went, okay, we gave up the control, we trusted where we were going to end up. She didn't really know where she was going, we just had an idea. She went around a roundabout, and next thing you know, we turned in to this most amazing place that none of us could have imagined. It was actually beyond a lunchtime eating dream, but we had a dream that we wanted to eat something different, we wanted something new, and we wanted to be a little bit inspired, and we rocked up to this place. There was a guy sitting outside, he was the only one in the place, and he asked him, is the food good here? The question, does Lifewave work? Yes. He said it's the best in the whole area. We went, perfect, it's a miracle. We walked in, the food was absolutely fantastic. We all believed in...
We're past 60 seconds, Josephine.
Okay, so then we were on the way out. Talks to this guy who enrolled us in the cafe, and then she actually turned around and it enrolled him in his Lifewave.
Amazing. Not quite what I was thinking where we were going, but a great story nevertheless. Always talk about Lifewave. Okay. So, a little different from what I was going to use. But I hope that you can see, and thank you, Josephine, because it is a great story. It's still a great story. She went out, she found an awesome place to eat and enrolled someone. How good's that? But I want you to see when you've got a structure, so you don't keep talking and the person in front of you is going, can you get to the point? This is what happened before. This was me before. This is what happened. And then everything changed. And now this. So this is what happened before. Then this happened. Now this. They are your 3 little prompts. And if you can get really good at telling that story, particularly in this Lifewave sense, but even if for those of you that use social media, everything needs to be less than 60 seconds. If you bang on for 3 minutes, no one's going to watch it all. So 60 seconds. I know it's annoying that we've got attention spans like goldfish, but it's just the way it is. So, all right, now we're going to get on to identity. Now, this is the part that people like to skip. This is the hard part. Because if you don't do the identity work, your outer world will not remain like that. It is very up and down, it's feast and famine. So when you get results, you get them sporadically. Nothing is sustainable. It doesn't last because it is in conflict with your belief system. If you change your beliefs first, your behaviour will change and the signal that you broadcast to the world will change. And hear this. If you want the way the world speaks to you to change, you have to change the way you speak to the world. And that is super important, the bit that so many people like to skim over because they want the strategy, they want the blueprint. Tell me the 5 steps to build my Lifewave business to $1 million. Tell me the social media strategy that I need to follow to get 100,000 followers. But if you don't do this work first, that stuff won't last. You don't need another thing on your to-do list. Okay, you don't need another thing on your to-do list. What I would invite you into thinking about is starting a to-be list. Because who you are being on the way to achieving your dreams is far more important than the action that you are taking. And that is why 2 different people can follow the same strategy and get wildly different results. Okay, question. Is your identity now, is it serving you or is it sabotaging you? And a really easy question there to figure that answer out is, are you living the life that you want to live? I know there's always room for improvement, but for the most part, are you surrounded by the people that you want to be surrounded by? Is your bank account balance looking the way that you want it to? Do you have the health that you want? For the most part. And if the answer is no, we need to start here. We need to start with our beliefs. So we've got our beliefs, influence our behaviours, influences the signal we broadcast to the world. Now, this is a belief system that would serve you. I am valuable. I am worthy. What I say matters. People respect me. I respect me. I can do hard things. Life is abundant. Opportunity is everywhere. Everything is always working out for me. And my personal favourite, the best is yet to come. Can you imagine if that is playing on repeat 24/7, how the outside world responds to you, as opposed to, I'm not valuable, I'm not worthy, nothing ever works for me. Why is everything so hard? I can't catch a break. The world is going to beep. People don't respect me. People never listen to me. No one ever takes me seriously. I've just said that belief system for about 10 seconds and I feel different. Imagine if that is on replay 24/7. Yeah, no thanks. But for a lot of people, that's autopilot. And they wonder why things on the outside world aren't changing. So when we change those beliefs, our outer world will change to suit them. So you're either plugged into faith or you're plugged into fear. So the first one, I am worthy, I am valuable, people listen to me, that's faith. Everything's going to work out for me, that's faith. The second one, that's fear. And you can tell by the way you're feeling which one you're plugged into. And I'm not, please don't misunderstand me, I'm not saying that there aren't awful things that happen in the world and there aren't awful people. There always will be, there always has been, and there always will be. You focusing on it cannot help you. You get to choose where you put your focus. So are you plugged into faith or are you plugged into fear? Now, how do you rewrite your beliefs? If it was that simple, we would all be stunning, happy, hot millionaires. A little bit more difficult, okay? If you've been holding on to beliefs for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, you're not getting rid of them by afternoon tea. Those beliefs have outlived 3 prime ministers. We've got some work to do. So I like to think of beliefs, particularly the ones that don't serve us, like toddlers. They're clingy, they're loud, they're a little annoying. You know what works well with toddlers? Bribes. Bribes, gently kind of tricking them into what you want them to do. And our beliefs are the same. So instead of saying, and you see all the affirmations in the world out there, I am wealthy, I am healthy, all of that. When you say that, and it's such a stark contradiction to what your reality currently is, that doesn't help you, that hinders you. It can't settle as truth in the body when it is so far from your current reality. It just doesn't work. It actually makes you go backwards. So what I would invite you to think about, instead of saying the I ams and the I ams, let's play around with what if. What if I was wealthy? What if I could enrol 5 new people by the end of the week? What if I could earn an extra $10,000 this month, this week? When we play with what if, our nervous system feels safe. Our conscious brain can let it slide. It thinks, okay, she's not really lying, she's just saying what if, so it kind of tends to take a backseat. So if you play around with the potentiality and possibility of what if, it feels better in your body. And you're allowed to start dreaming and thinking. As long as you don't bring it back to, I am this, but I'm actually not this. I am wealthy. Why did your credit card just decline? I am wealthy. You just defaulted on your mortgage repayment again. That's what your brain will keep doing when you're telling it lies. Amir Coué is a French psychologist, came up with this phrase many years ago. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Now, when you say something like this, and I'll show you how to tweak it in just a sec, nervous system feels safe, your conscious brain's like, okay, yep, that sounds okay, I don't need to fight that. So you can say things like, every day, in every way, I'm getting more confident and confident to share the Lifewave business. Every day, in every way, I am feeling better and better in my body. You're not lying to yourself. Every day, in every way, I am becoming more and more powerful. Does that feel better? Rather than the I am this when you clearly aren't. Saying I am confident in the mirror 10 times doesn't magically make you confident if you can't say 2 words in front of another human being. But every day in every way, leaning into that is a lot safer. So let's rewrite your beliefs. A really easy way to do this, if there is one that you feel like it's on autopilot, it's not really serving you, but you kind of can't get rid of it, write that down and then flip it. The opposite of that belief will become your self-serving belief. If you've got one that I work with a lot of women that are terrified of public speaking. One that I get a lot is, I'm not a good speaker. If you want to be a speaker, how do you think I'm not a good speaker is going to help you? So we need to flip it. And you don't have to say, I'm an incredibly great keynote speaker. Every day in every way, I'm becoming better and better. Has everyone got at least one that you think you could flip? One that would help you? So when I first got into keynote speaking, I'll be very honest, I felt like a fraud. I don't have a qualification after my name. I don't have alphabet soup after my name. I don't have an Amazon best-selling book. I'm not a doctor. I'm not someone with a fancy title. And I came across Todd Herman's work in the alter ego effect. And he has popularized this concept that we all can create a alter ego that we can step into when we need it most. And he also talks about a token, wearing something or holding something that helps you to access that most powerful version of yourself. Now, I was doing this, I just didn't know, I didn't have language for it, but I called it the red shoe principle. So these are my 6-inch red stilettos. I would be wearing them today, but I just came out of a moon boot, so I've got safe block heels on today. But when I was pitching myself to speaking gigs, and even when I was going in the room, I would wear these shoes and I would feel unstoppable. And good luck trying to stop me in them. That's a weapon in and of themselves, right? So I would put them on and I wasn't pretending, but I was feeling. And this is not about fake it till you make it. This is about feeling it until you become it. I don't need those shoes anymore. I like those shoes and I wear those shoes, but I don't need them anymore. So you rely on that thing, the red shoe principle. I call it an identity anchor. You rely on that until you don't need it anymore. So what's your identity anchor? What could you put on? It might be a jacket that you feel really powerful in, a suit. It could be even really subtle. It could be a pair of earrings, lip gloss, body spray, some sexy lingerie under there. No one needs to know you've even got it. Doesn't have to be a sparkly red suit and 6-inch red heels. What's your identity anchor? Turn to the person next to you and tell them. Oh, don't all go at once. What's the thing that makes you feel good? Taps into that most powerful version of yourself. Does anyone want to yell one out? High heels. High heels. Is there any other ladies in the room that think high heels do that? Absolutely. Maybe when we get to a little bit older, they'll say, no, you won't want to wear them anymore. But right now, I'm going to wear them. Anyone else? Heels. Yes.
Swimming costume.
Swimming costume, yes. What kind of swimming costume?
One that doesn't fall off in the surf.
Yeah, very important. Yeah, you don't feel really confident when you've just body surfed and then everything's hanging out. That's not good. Good one. All right, so we've looked at how beliefs impact our behaviours, which impacts the signal that we broadcast to the world. And here is where I want to introduce to you something that I call the frequency print. Not everybody can receive your signal. Now, just like we have a thumbprint as an identifiable part of our physical body, a frequency print is an identifiable part of your non-physical body. So all your patterns, the way that you create, consume, show up in the world, unique to you. And some of it remains unchanged from the day you were born. Other parts of it can adapt depending on your environment and your experiences. And Abraham Hicks has famously made use of this analogy. You cannot receive a signal if, okay, on the Gold Coast 90.9, you want to listen to 90.9 on the radio. If you're tuned to 106.7, you're not getting 90.9. There are people out there that literally cannot receive your signal. How liberating is that? Because suddenly, it's not a measurement of your worth. It's a frequency mismatch. Suddenly, it's not, what's wrong with me? I need to change. I'm the one doing something wrong. It's a reflection of where that person is at. And everybody looks at the world through their lens, shaped by their experiences that oftentimes we know nothing about. So when you get a rejection, a no, which is really a not right now, somebody chooses someone else over you, don't think I've done something wrong. It is simply a frequency mismatch. Really important in this line of work. I'm just going to go through that one. Sometimes your family does not match your frequency. Nothing tests unconditional love like asking your family to be a part of your network marketing business. Nothing. You think it's going to unite you all, and it does. They unite against you. You're suddenly no longer invited to family barbecues. Now, I want you to not forget about the 8 billion other people on this planet. Okay, our family circle's small, there's 8 billion people on the planet. And they might join you, they might not. But that's not your responsibility. Their response is not your responsibility. Your job, offer up the light. If they want to stay in the dark, that's their problem. It's a them problem, not a you problem. So remember that when I know it, I'm not saying this doesn't hurt and it's not disappointing, but remember that sometimes it might be as simple as they're just not on your frequency. Okay, so we've looked at, can I have a time check? Yeah, perfect. We've looked at voice, where people get to know you. We've looked at identity, where they decide whether they like you, whether they've got the same frequency as you, and now we're going to look at positioning. So this is where people trust you. Likability is far more important than expert status. You don't need to have fancy credentials and a white lab coat for people to trust in what you're saying. Because here's the thing, if you believe you, they believe you. If you back you, they back you, despite credentials. We're going to look at my icon framework now, and I'd love for you to take this down. So I, that's for insight. C, for credibility. O is for the offer, that's the selling part, for those of you that don't love selling. And N is for nurture. So we've got insight, credibility, offer, and nurture. Let's go through insight. This is where you establish your credibility. This is where we rely on the research, the data, the statistics, and this is where we offer our insights on top of that, so we don't sound like ChatGPT. We offer our unique take, our perspectives. Do you need me to go back? Did I go too fast? Yeah. Okay. Do you want to take a photo of them instead of writing them all down? Maybe we'll do that. Has everyone got that one? You know what? I can send, Wendy, why don't I just send the slides to you and then everyone yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. So credibility. This is the proof. This is seeing you in action. For those of you that are practitioners that use Lifewave within your business, we want to see how you're using it. This is where client testimonials, case studies, feedback, all of that comes into play. This is where we are proving that what we're talking about works, compliantly, of course. And now we come to offer. Do people even know you have a Lifewave business? Are you making the sale? Are you asking for the sale? And this is where I want to invite you to go from selling something, hey, come and buy my stuff, to how can I serve you today? So we're going to do a little exercise. I want you to close your eyes. You can put your phones down, close your eyes, just get comfy. And I want you to think of your life before Lifewave, before the angel that introduced you to this business or these products. Just think of it before. We won't spend too much time there. But what was life like before you had that? What was your health like? What was your bank account balance like? Who were the people that surrounded you like? And now, I want you to think of what life is like now. How has your life changed since having Lifewave in your life? The people, the opportunities, the experiences. All of you just started smiling. It's so nice to see. And I want you to think now, before you open your eyes, imagine if the person that introduced you to Lifewave didn't want to feel salesy, didn't want to feel icky, and they decided to keep it to themselves. How would you feel towards that person? You can open your eyes now. Would you be a little frustrated? A little annoyed? Excuse me, you kept this great opportunity, this great product from me? You've got the gift. It needs to be shared. If you come at it from a what can I do for this person instead of I hope they join my team and I hit my rank this month, you're going to have a really different experience. What can I do for you? So make the invitation, make the offer, invite them to a patch morning, invite them to a workshop or however you do it, on social media, in person, emails, pick up the phone, there's one. Actually ask people to be a part of this. And if you're using social media or email marketing, get that out there then in that form as well. Don't do something once a month and go, oh, no one's buying from me. I've got no customers. I spoke once on my Instagram stories last week, no one reached out. I post on social media a lot, sometimes several times a day. And I will still have people come up to me and go, geez, I haven't seen you much on Instagram lately, Nicole. You are not going to be annoying anyone, I promise. And if you annoy them, is it a you problem or a them problem? A them problem. All right, and then we've got nurture. This is where we focus on the connection. This is where we treat the human being like a human being and not a number. We share our stories with insights, of course. We provide value, education, inspiration. And I want to share with you, just before we wrap up, a story about the Guinness Book of World Records states this man as the greatest car salesman of all time, Joe Girard. And I did a little bit of research on Joe, and he credits his success to handwritten cards. He sent between 10 and 13,000 handwritten cards to his customers. Happy birthday cards, I'm thinking of you cards, happy holiday cards. Eventually had to get assistance in sending these out, but handwritten cards built him an absolute sales weapon. Now the average office worker, I know that I'm not talking to office workers now, but just so you know, receives in excess of 100 emails a day and less than 3 personal letters a year. What do you think a personal handwritten letter in 2026 might mean? I mean, it worked for him back in the 60s. Imagine how much more power it has now. Imagine opening your mail and instead of getting a bill or a fine or some proposal about a development that's happening down the end of your street, you get a handwritten card about the person that introduced Lifewave to you. Just think about the impact, the ripple effect that could have, and see if you can implement. I'm not saying you all have to write 13,000 cards every month, but see how you can go the extra mile. See how you can surprise and delight your customers. Remember their birthdays. Ask them about their family. Treat them like a human. Connections are your currency in this business, in any business, and we need to treat them accordingly. So we have looked at a lot. We have looked at how we establish our story, how we tell our story, how we elevate our identity, how you position yourself as an icon, the person that people trust, the person that people can't ignore. I want you to turn to the person next to you and tell them the one thing that you've taken away from this presentation that you're going to action in the next 24 hours. Go. You've got 30 seconds. Yeah, perfect. I'm just going to do the song and I'm done. All right. So as we wrap up today, Lifewave is dedicated to honouring the light in our lives. I want today, this afternoon, to be a reminder to you to honour the light in you. No matter how wacky or unconventional it may be, I want today to be a reminder to honour the light in you and trust that the right people and the right circumstances will be brought to you. And I like to honour the wacky kind of light in me by changing the words of Disney songs and making them applicable to the beautiful humans in front of you. So I'm going to do a little song for you that maybe you might even want to borrow and start using with your prospective customers. Some of you have heard this. A lot of you are going, what on earth is she about to sing? Let's see. Let's see if it plays. Nope. Is it going to play, Douglas? I'm going to press it again. No. I could tap dance, but no, Douglas will play it. Do you want to try some patches? Feel like you did at 21. It's a spa day for your nervous system. Recover fast, energy all day long. But you gotta be consistent. Wear them every day and don't buy them from eBay. Do you want to try some patches? Come on and let me patch ya. We can start today. Thank you very much. I'm Nicole Joy. What an honour it's been. Thank you. Where's Paul? There he is. Thank you so much.
Nicole Joy, everyone. Thank you so much.
Do you want me to leave this here? Leave that here. Amazing. Thank you.
I'm going to ask Alicia Carter to come to the stage. She will share some stuff with us.
Thank you.
That want to copy the slides.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've got to go to the video.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you again. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Are you on LinkedIn? You're on LinkedIn?
No, on Instagram.
Okay, I'll find you on Instagram.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Did you enjoy it? Oh, good. Thank you. Give me a hug too, Christian. I love my hugs.
Thank you so much.
So lovely to meet you. Thank you. Oh, far out. Where the fuck is my phone? Jesus. No, it's definitely in